Hey guys, welcome to another video. So, as you can see, my Voron 1.8 has been seriously upgraded. So let's talk about this video. In this video, what we're going to talk about. So, I'm giving the 1.8 some love. It's my first majorly kitted Voron. It's different from all the conversions. So what makes this different was that it was my first officially built Voron on the live. This was the first Voron built on the live. But right now, I'm giving it some love. So let's talk about what I did. So first of all, first mod was actually running the single MGM12. I realized the Voron guys kind of abandoned it for the Trident. Basically, this is what the Trident is. Basically, this is a 1.8, and the Trident is the upgraded version of this. Okay. So basically, I love my 1.8, so I wanted to give it all the love I possibly can. So basically, I went ahead and have Squirrel Brain adjusted these XY joints to accommodate MGM12, a single MGM12. So now I don't have to run the dual MGM9Hs. So it's a single MGM12, which is really nice. It's a little bit preloaded, so it's not as free, which is fine. You kind of want it a little preloaded. I realize preloaded rails works much better in this case. It's a little stiffer, so it really helps with the whole input shaper and everything. Like I said, it really does help. Next thing I did, I went ahead and did the mod to run the bed with dual MGM 12H 300 millimeter linear rails, as you can see, and then I upgraded from the stepper motor with the rubber couplings to like the built-in stepper motor with shafts with the built-in I'm having a hard time thinking, guys, sorry. So I removed the regular stepper motor with shaft and the lead screw. So I removed that in order for the built-in lead screw stepper motor. So that's what I did for this upgrade. So basically this is running dual MGM9, and got rid of the flimsy linear rods setup. So this is much stiffer, as you can see, much stiffer, much more rigid. And the purpose of running it like this is for, if you can guess, all this is for tap. Yes, I'm going to be running tap on here. Tap requires a more rigid bed. You can't use it on the V1.8 or the switch wire unless your switch wire has like dual MGM rail or something like that to keep it rigid, to make sure the bed don't flex too much, because tap require a bed like this. See, if I had my regular mount, if I had this like a stock 1.8 with the linear rods, if I did this, it would have flexed already. You'd have major flexing, like major flexing. Keep in mind, this is not fully mounted yet because I gotta fix everything where I want it and leave it and then mount it down. But there's no flex. Literally, this thing is solid. So for those who want to run top on their 1.8, I recommend this upgrade here. I'm gonna put a link in the description of the stuff I bought, the motor I bought, and the linear rails I bought and the motor I bought. So you guys can attempt this too if you want to run top on your 1.8. And I'll also put a link to the STL files for those who want to bring their 1.8 that they love in the future. So this is for the 1.8. So yeah, I really am digging this mod. This mod is really nice, and I might do it to my other 1.8, my bigger 1.8, which is running 12 millimeter rods instead. I don't want to touch it because it's working good, but seeing how easy this linear rail mod was just to get it working, again, you have to do some modification by cutting this another 2 millimeter. So I had to cut this, just the actual top cover 2 millimeter spacing to get it in. But once you cut them, make sure from here to here is 170 millimeters. So make sure that line up on both sides. Once that's done, you should be good to go. Easy to mount. So this was an easy mod. I opted to use blind joints at the bottom, but use like bracket L brackets to hold this in place at the top. So that's what I did. It just seems easier, less mess, because I didn't want to pull this down. I didn't want to take down the linear rails here just to mount that. You know, that would have been a whole mess. So I opted just to do that, and it works perfect here. So yeah, so that's what's getting some love. So I just want to update you guys that this is going to get Voron top. So I'm going to show you what the Voron top setup looks like now. All right, guys, so this is the Voron top I'm working on. So I opted to not use the PCB. I got to wire this up the proper way. I have the manual up right now to wire it the proper way. So, but this is just the base assembly, and it works really well. So to show you guys that it goes slide up and down. Nothing is mounted in yet, but as you can see, you need some strong rear earth magnets. That's what I'm using, the black strong rear magnets. You can get them from Amazon. I might just put a link in the description for those, just to make it easy for you guys to purchase, and I get a little kickback, you know. It does help the channel. So as you can see, it comes right back down. Make sure you align these things here, the magnet, where it doesn't touch. You don't want the magnet touching it, the back. You just want it close enough where it pulls down the actual tool head, right? So as you can see, it works really well, guys. Actually, it works really well. It's like a fidget toy, to be honest with you. I like to fidget with it so far, but I just got to wire this up and then throw it on the machine and then show you guys how it performs. So stay tuned. All right, guys, so as you can see, we have the base of the Voron top installed here. Make sure my belt is not super tight. You don't want your belt super tight. I made sure that my that the gantry is touching both of the idlers. They have some little springiness here. They're not super tight there, but they're good enough, close enough. I need to tighten this side just a little bit more, so that way it stays still and not moving. But this is just the base install. I'm gonna snip the cable to about there. You don't need a ton of cable. Same thing when I route this one. But yeah, it's looking good, guys. Voron top. So we're gonna assemble the rest, and then we'll come back and show you guys what that looked like. All right, guys, so now that I got the tool head mounted, as you guys can see here, so that's what it does. Ignore my dishwasher in the background here, but this is the Voron top tool head mounted. It's very interesting. It's stable. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty stable there. I would say I'm not using the best MGM9H rail that I have. I'm using some kind of cheapo version, and I mean they do work. I mean you still get quality, but you see this little twist there, this rotational twist. It's not ton perceivable, but you can see it moving. I just know that little rotation, but that's minor because this is going up and down, which is fine. But yeah, but with the pressure, the weight of the tool head help keeps the nozzle down, plus the magnets. So that's really cool that it comes right back down, you know. So yeah, this is pretty cool. So basically it's triggered, and then when you go, I guess this is open position, and then when you move up it gets triggered. So open, triggered, open, triggered. That's how it works, because if it's not open then it'll probably crash into bed. So this is open position when they sit down, but when you move up it's triggered. So open, triggered. So yeah, pretty cool. So I just want to share that with you guys, that my V1.8, and see why I needed this now. Do you understand why I needed this mod? Because the flimsy linear rods would have not made this possible. So with this being the way this is, now I have enough pressure. See, I can tap it and not feel like this thing gonna go anywhere. So that way the accuracy of the probing will be more accurate versus using, again, the linear rod setup. So I'm really happy with the setup, super happy. I wish I had red to match this, but it's okay. The black just blends in with everything. Just looks really nice and stealthy. So yeah, I'm gonna put this together, try to see if I can get it working, and then report back, guys. But I'm super happy with this, with my V1.8. Again, the mods are MGM12H. single MGM12H, thanks to Squirrel Brain. He's so awesome, such a great friend to have. You know, get you guys a CAD friend, someone that can CAD really well. So awesome, modify this to accommodate that MGM12 for me. Really appreciate him. Then this mod that I found on Voron, I can't remember the username, but I'm gonna probably put it in the editing to give him credit. Great mod to incorporate the dual MGM12H, 300 millimeter 300 millimeter lead screw motor and 300 millimeter MGM12H linear rail. Sorry guys, just want to make sure I throw that out there. So those are the two main mod that I've done on this printer. So yeah, and of course glass all over. So I'm gonna put the panel back, get everything wired up, and then test it out. So stay tuned. All right guys, and just like that, we are back. My 1.8 is finally up and running after after about almost 2 months of solidly sitting down, torn apart, broken down. So now it's back up with clipper screen working. I just had a spare cell phone to use as a clipper screen. It just matched the stature of this really well. Again, the mod is the dual linear rail bed mod. So instead of using the linear rods, the 8mm linear rods, we're using MG&H 300mm linear rails for the bed. And the purpose is because I'm using Voron top. You need your bed to be a bit more stiff, because the Voron guys actually recommend tap for like the V1.8 and my VZ Trident over there, because those beds are pretty solid. Like, you know, you tap on it, it ain't going nowhere. So in order for the tap to get accurate readings, you don't want to use it on a switch wire or a 1.8, which used to use, at least in my case, linear rods, but now we're using linear rails for the bed. And so as you can see, it's much stiffer. I can tap on it and there's no flexing. It is super stiff. You have to put a lot of pressure on it to really have a flex out of this. So and the reason why I wanted to do this mod was to give people out there that may have 1.8 kits or 1.8 bills and want to be able to run Voron top and maybe upgrade their printer a little bit better, bring it in the future. They can do this. But like I said, I now finally have an MGM12H single rail thanks to Squirrel Brain, and now MGM12H bed setup. So I'm happy about this. This thing will basically future-proof my 1.8. I really love my 1.8, and you guys have heard me brag about it. I think the 1.8, in my opinion, is also one of the best printer out there, aside from the Trident and the 2.4. They all have their strengths, but the 1.8 should have been linear rail from the get-go. This is such a fantastic mod. I can't get over how good this mod is. And not only that, but I wanted to do this mod a long time ago, like a long time, but just never needed to, just because the linear rails worked. Even not the rails, sorry, I keep getting tongue twisted. Because the linear rods worked really well at the time. So, and then I know that's before Voron top. But in order to try tap, and I wanted to just try it on this since it was already broken down. Yeah, here we go. And top works really well. It's very accurate so far. I'm a big fan of it. I didn't think I was gonna like it, but I'm now a big fan. I might be able to, I'm probably gonna run tap on this, even though I really do. Don't get me wrong, I really do like my clicky probe and the Auto Z calibration, so I never have to touch the Z offset. So I'm torn because I really love clicky probe on here. It works really well, but tap works great too. Now I haven't printed with it yet or nothing like that, so that's still to be seen how it behaves. But as far as accuracy go, it is really accurate. Like, I mean, really accurate. So like I said, based on my experience with this, I might trade. I might actually install tap on here, but we'll see. We'll have to wait and see. So we're going to run this through its paces and make sure that works. But as a demonstration to show you that it works, we're going to go ahead, we're going to ohm and do a Z tilt so you guys can see the tap in action here. So we're going to do an ohm all. Now, for the reason why I'm ohming the Y first before the actual X is because this lead screw stick out a little too much, and then the tool head kind of brushes against it. So that's why I'm ohming the Y first before the X. So as you can see, the top is working there. Now, I'm using a Dragon Eye flow here with mine, with my setup here, so it's no big deal. Now, the reason why you're not seeing any drag train back here is because sorry about that, guys, but the reason why I don't have the drag train mounted on here is because there's one major flaw with a 1.8. When you have the drag train mounted on here, because of how the X, basically instead of having this mounted at the bottom like you would the 2.4, see how the 2.4 have the XY joints mounted at the bottom instead of the top, because it's mounted at the top, basically the drag chain will hit on it and then you're limited on travel. And what will happen is that my top here will go up instead of down. Okay, that's a problem. So I mounted the wire, I removed the drag chain, print out some wire holder here. So if you guys want to see at the back here, some Voron wire holder, and I have it mounted at the back here on purpose so that way it doesn't affect the tap, and it's not in the way of affecting the top when it maxes out over here, right? When it's at its when it gets to 0 point, it doesn't cause an issue. So that's why I have to do that. And so in order to achieve just like the best, in order to achieve less interference as possible, I had to do that. Now I got to think of a better solution than mounting the wire back there, because if it's at max like this, like let's say it's at the 0 point, this is max on the X, this is 0 on the X. So if it's at the 0 point and it ohms, this wire will literally hit that back motor and cause it not to hit the X end stop in that corner. You hear me? The Y end stop in that corner. So I have to be careful there. So that's an issue. It's not a major issue when you're printing, because I'm gonna actually have this toolhead actually pause in the back and in directly in the center there when it's finished a print or when I'm pausing. So just that way to just avoid any issue. But I have to figure out a solution, or if you guys can think of a solution, the best way to work with the Voron tap with a 1.8. That's the issue I'm in, because you can't really run a umbilical with this setup. It's too low. And the Trident fixes this, right? The Trident fixes this because the Trident is a lot bigger in volume, but with a 1.8 it's too low, so there's not much space you're working with here. So I can't really do an umbilical unless I gotta find some kind of way to tack it onto the glass. So yeah, so I'm kind of limited on what I could do, but for right now this will work. This won't really cause a problem, like I said, unless I'm homing it when the x-axis is all the way at the 0 point. So yeah, but outside of that, guys, it's up, it's running. Let's do a Z tilt so you guys can see it in action here instead of me talking. So as you guys can see, it's doing a Z tilt, and it's very cool, guys. Like I said, it's very accurate. I wired this up myself. It worked really good. The wiring, I would definitely follow the user manual to wire this right. Make sure you have a make sure you get yourself some what are these now? These are resistors. So you need these resistors here. I'm gonna put a link in the description, but you can look at it. I got it from Amazon. I got a whole bunch for no reason, but you know, they sell resistors in like major packs. So this is the resistor I got. Also, this is the optical sensor I'm using, sensor switch I'm using. I got like 4 of them. So I've about 3 more that I can use. I got it from Mauser, as you can see. So maybe you guys want to take down any type of part number or anything like that. That's the one I use. And I used the wired version. I didn't want to get the fancy PCB or whatever. Like I told you guys, I don't mind using my hands. That's why I haven't had CAN bus or nothing like that mounted. I use like IGOS cable chain. Sorry, I'm going on a rant, but as you can see, this is our IGOS continually flex cables, and I have no issues at all. There was enough conductors to run the the Voron top. And so yeah, so I have no problems. But this is why I said it's hard for me to justify a CAN bus, because my wiring actually works really well. so unless it goes out, it's going to be hard to justify using a CAN bus at the moment. But I definitely want to incorporate a CAN bus in one of the future printers in the future. So yeah, but yeah, there it is, Voron top. I really do like it, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, my V1.8 is back up and running with all this mod. I won't be touching it for a long time. So yeah, guys. So yeah. And by the way, I also cut my own linear rails. I didn't buy a kit. I sourced everything myself, cut my own linear rails. I have a ton of spare MGM9H linear rails sitting around, so I cut one at 50 millimeters, like the specs required. And I use a Dremel. So you can use a Dremel cutting disc, like a metal cutting disc, to cut it if you guys want to do it yourself. Just make sure you get a nice, clean, flat cut as possible, and you should be okay with setting this up. I also had some strong rear earth magnets. These are the black magnets I got from Amazon. Just be careful what magnets you get. Some of them are not good, but the ones I got are really strong. Like, I mean, really, really stupid strong. So, and these are little magnets, so I got some of those. I might be able to put, like I said, put some of this in the description for those who want to attempt. So there we go. So it is finally done with the Z-tilt. I can show you the results here. Let me show you the results real quick. And that is the tolerance here. I know it tried quite a bit, but this average number here, this retry tolerance, was average based on probe accuracy, because it can do it. And as you can see, this is the accuracy. It's pretty good, guys. Like I said, it's pretty accurate. It is pretty accurate. So I'm gonna end this video by saying, again, I did this because I wanted to show, give someone that may have a 1.8 Voron 1.8 that may not have converted it into a Trident, may want to think about this type of mod. You know, if you want to run Voron top, maybe mod it with the dual MGN rail for the bed, so it makes the bed a lot stiffer, and that way you can run the Voron top Toolhead. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. I see you guys in another one. Sorry for ranting. And also, I didn't forget about the live stream. I will be live streaming sometime next week. I'm off, so I'll try to make up for that by doing a kind of long live stream, maybe 4 hours, 3 hours, see what I can get done on the K3. But yeah, some stuff happened in the background, so, and I was way too distracted in order for me to stream. So I'm sorry about that, guys, but at least I'm just trying to provide a video for you guys to see, because I was working hard in the background on this. It took me about a day to do all this modding and everything going, a whole day. And so yeah, so I appreciate you guys. Remember to like, subscribe, ask any question. If you have any questions, drop it down in the comment. I try to reply to all my comments. So yeah, guys, on the road to 3K. So yeah, guys, I'll see you guys. Peace.